right now you're seeing a map of the world, and today we're going to be doing a very interesting video. A map, or I guess a video, where we're going to see if we can go across the entire world, basically. So in this video, this is an interesting one. This is a topic that I've seen other people do, but not many people doing it truthfully, which you might understand later. But the question is, and this can be slightly modified, but can you walk from South Africa, or I guess the southernmost, let's just say the southernmost tip of Africa, to, let's say, what is this, Chile? Let's say can you walk from here to, I guess, the end of this highway, right? Can you walk to the southernmost point of South America, the southernmost point of Africa? I guess it's not the southernmost point, but I think it might be the southernmost point, and a lighthouse where you can walk. I guess you can get there by foot if you're anywhere in the world. I guess not anywhere in the world, but if you are in if you're in Argentina, Chile, you can realistically walk there. So, but today you might be, that's what we're doing. But you might be wondering, what are you even saying? How is that even possible? Either way I try to go, there's ocean. There's a reason why we have planes, right? Well, for this exact thing, there is still a reason, but it's not the one that you think. So the reason is not that we need to cross the ocean. And you might be wondering, this is so clickbait right now. What are you even talking about? This is not possible. How can you, what are you even saying, basically? So, what I'm gonna do is, let's see, first of all, can you get there? Just for proof, for anyone who doesn't know. South Africa to there. You obviously cannot get there through the Atlantic Ocean. If you try to go this way, you go here, we have the Pacific Ocean. Still, all around, you can check everywhere, even here across these islands, any way you try to go, there is gonna be ocean. So you might be wondering, what are you even talking about? How do you do this? So that's what we're gonna be talking about in this video. So let's just go here to the southernmost point of South Africa and start. So let's start. So here, let's just go. I don't know. Let's go. What's the southernmost point of South Africa? Probably here, right? Near Cape Town. So let's say that I am a person who lives in this city, Alagoas, and I want to go to that city. I want to see the lighthouse. Also, from lighthouse to lighthouse, that is in Argentina, the southernmost point. But I don't have a car, and I don't have any form of transportation. I have no money to pay for it. I have nothing I can do. I have nothing except somehow an endless budget of resources, which we're gonna need, and feet. Yep. Not feet, but your whole body. But feet is the only way of transportation we need. And you might not be believing me right now. But okay, let's say we're just here on Cape Agulhas on a nice summer day, and we start our journey. So first thing we gotta do, and I'm gonna tell you, please do not try this at home, but I'm gonna tell you the probably safest way, and no matter what I tell you to do, don't do it. In this video, except liking the video. Please, guys, like the video and subscribe. This is my second series this is my second video of this series. Hopefully, guys, you liked my first one. It currently has 17 views, I think. But yeah, don't try going from here to there. It's extremely dangerous. but it is possible. And if you can do it, I'll high five you. So, I don't think anybody did yet, but maybe they will. So you start right here, and I'll be trying to give the safest ways possible. Safest ways. And anyway, so you're sitting here on the southernmost, or I guess somewhere here on the southernmost point of Africa, and wondering, all right, I need to get there. I need to get there. I need to get there. How do I get there? This is how. First of all, we're going to be going through, so just some preparation. We're going to be going through some dense, deep, we're going to be going basically through very different ecosystems, or I guess not, that's not what you should call it. Places I meant, or biomes, I guess. Desert, forest, mountains. Everything's going to be here. So you first need a pack, and after you pack, we're ready to go. Ready to go. You got your feet, you're good, and you're not sick. Yeah, so we start going. So first of all, we basically wander across here, and we get to some roads here. We go through the city, and from this point, I'm going to zoom out by it like a lot, but obviously see there's a road that you can go from here, and if we zoom out even more, you can either go across the fields like this, or, which is probably would be crossing through some villages where you can get some more, maybe resources and food and water if you need it. But you should already have everything packed by then. But you should still stop. I mean, you can't carry too much, or it's going to slow you down, and you just can't carry that much. So you should definitely go on a path where you have some kind of villagers, communities, cities, towns, like something. Cities. So anyway, you can go through the fields, or you can go along the highway. And you go along the highway, zoom out even more. We can see this highway goes all the way like that. You can switch some, and I'd recommend after you cross this, I guess, plateau, I would recommend you going. So if we zoom out here, we can see South Africa. You have some things you can do here. You can actually make your way right and go through the fields and the forest, or you can be not very smart and go through the desert. So the desert is obviously pretty hot, and by the way, we do have Lesotho, but you don't need to pass through that. I recommend actually, it'll be probably about the same from distance wise, but going like this across and like that. And obviously you're going to need permission to cross into every country, just saying. So now, or here we have Eswatini too, but we don't need to go there. Here, you're going to get to this point where the roads end a bit, but then they continue. So basically, you don't, for right now we're going on roads, so it's alright. We go here into, what is this, Mozambique. Go across Mozambique, and Mozambique doesn't, I don't think it has too many different cities. So here, after you get into it, I actually recommend going on these highways, getting to the point into this country right here, which is Zimbabwe, and it has much more cities. You should go through it here, through Harare and everything, and basically make your way up here through Tanzania. And here we have some decisions to make. We have Kenya and Somalia, which has extreme desert, or you can go through the very, very insane dense rainforest of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And I would actually recommend going this way, because there is no way you are not going to see at least 100 crocodiles if you go through here. I would actually go through Kenya, as much more different cities, and yeah. So go up here, Here, this is going to be one of the most difficult parts of this journey. Definitely not the most, which is also going to be coming up, but it's going to be basically also very difficult to get past. It's the desert. There's no way, as you can see right here, if we zoom out, there's no way to bypass the desert, so you're just going to have to accept it that you know, you're going to desert. And by the way, there's no ships involved too. Everything is on foot. So here, let's search up and see. Well, we should just go on like Sudan here through Sudan and try to go here. What I would say is that you should try to definitely go along the river, because if we go here and zoom in, how many cities right now, not counting those on the river, do we see? Or I guess one, right? Yeah, one. And that's probably not even a city. It's literally nothing, basically. It has no pictures. It's basically nothing. So you do not need to go through this. This is basically a death sentence if you go through here. Obviously, you do have your sunscreen for everything or anything, but I would not recommend it. And it's still, you need, the main thing, of course, here is probably water. There's no water, like, at all. And in 45-degree weather, you're gonna want water pretty fast. And when your water ends that you brought with you, or the one that you bought at the nearest city, then it's not gonna be very good for you. So, because humans can only last 3 days without water, and even less in the desert. So, go across the river, trust me here, and go across the river through Sudan, through all these even semi-big cities, until you can either go on the highway, or you can go, well, I guess, yeah, you should go right along the river. Eventually, you get some fields here and some smaller villages. I'd recommend you go through there. It's a good change of scenery. And this might even be forest right here. Let's see. Why am I getting a TikTok video? Never mind. So yeah, these are some fields. And yeah, so you can basically, now we are at Cairo. So we've just crossed basically almost the entire Africa just by walking. And now we are in Cairo. So what are we going to do from here? We're going to do the next part of the plan. We are going to be going right here and to the east. And this will be still, by the way, Egypt. And here we're going to face this thing here called the Suez Canal. Actually, interesting thing about this, it connects the Red Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. So interesting right here. So how are we gonna cross this? There's multiple bridges that go across it. 1, 2. I would recommend going through this one just because it's the closest to where we are. However, you would have to go a bit through the desert here. But at least there are some cities, and you could stop, even if you wanted to, you could stop at the Suez. It has a national museum and everything. Very interesting. And now you go across, and this is going to be a big issue. This is definitely one of the hardest places that is going to be on this trip. You are literally, look at this. This is where you're going to have to be. This is desert combined with mountains. That's right. Desert combined with mountains. There's no street view here because of how all remote this thing is. This is insane. There's a highway here, but look how many cities there are. And after you cross this, it's not going to be good for you if you try to go like that. And even though it's going to take longer, it's going to be way safer. We are going to be going through, and by the way, you could have probably gone through here into where Israel is and through Gaza. You could have done that, and I think that would also be okay. But yeah, you know what? That would actually be a better idea. I thought that you'd have to go all around like that, but actually, you could make it all the way up here and go on along this highway. And here we have, looks like, a bunch of more little villages that you can stop at, and it's near the ocean, so it's cold. Here, when you get to this point, you can basically find a way here. The road might end, or no, it doesn't. You can go here through to Israel. Just be careful because there's a war there going on. So now we're at Gaza and these main cities right here, and here we can keep going along this main region until we get to this place here called Haifa. And here we're going to turn and actually start going a bit through the desert. Here's the reason why. Eventually, we're going to have to be going through Russia. And the issue with Russia, the reason that it is, by the way, the hardest place to go through on this map, and it's because of the cold, obviously, and the very, very extreme. There's bears there. It's super cold, wilderness, mountains. It's just basically so dangerous. And if you went up here and up like this, not through the desert, then, well, you'd be facing a little challenges because you would not want to go all the way across Russia. And trust me, that's a lot. All the way, that's like hundreds of thousands of miles. And you would not want to do that on foot. So, you want to here, when you get to this point, you want to go right into Jordan, about here, and you get to this big city too. So far you're okay. You've crossed a little of the desert, but you're okay. Here comes the hard part. Now, we need to find a way to go through this desert. And so here, once you're in Jordan, you can see that they're on this highway, they have plenty of villages. So you could go here, but this is much more remote. I'd recommend actually going down here through these villages and basically, yeah. Now this is going to be a very tough part of the journey, so make sure you have the stuff you need. You go through a few big cities here. Now you turn right here until you get to Kuwait, where you can rest on Kuwait City. It's a pretty big city, actually. You go north, and you get to, this is, you go a bit through Iraq. I think you might have even earlier, but you go to Iran now. Okay, so here, this is the point where we're probably going to start making our way a bit north, but not completely yet. We're not going to be going through Tehran, but we are going to be going through Shiraz right here, going through this desert. And the thing I'd recommend is actually taking a little detour here and going all the way across the ocean, so it's not as hot until you get here. And this is where you get through Pakistan. And once you get through Pakistan, you get to India. And now we're finally facing regions that aren't as hot. So once you get to here, in which, by the way, you can walk across this on highways or through wilderness, you're going to start making your way north. Nope, not so fast. If you actually thought you were going to go north, no, you are going to face this mountain range, which, by the way, is the highest mountain range ever. So you don't want to do that. Here in Iran, or Pakistan, I guess, you're going to start heading north, right before the mountain range. And you will have to cross a little mountain range here, but that's fine. And you will be getting to cities like Tashkent, and going here, Bishkek, And now finally it looks like you're getting closer, right? To wherever we're gonna go. We're gonna go across this way, by the way, not that way, if you haven't figured that out yet. So here we have a few lakes, so you're not gonna be hot here. We go north, 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 and here we get to this point, by the way, so we know where we are in East Kazakhstan right now. We don't want to go into the desert, so we keep going north. And here, 1 second while it loads. We go through, we cannot go through here because of the mountain range. So we have to go north. And now we are officially in, are we in Russia? Yes. This is going to be a very hard journey. So there's a highway, you can get to Novosibirsk, and then you can go, start going right. Now, here, for the first part, this isn't going to be too difficult. You can go along the highway. But eventually, the highway is going to become a dirt road, and you don't want to go too south. So we're going to have to cross the Anagna River first, once we get to Irkutsk. And yeah, so that's what we want to do first. Then we go on this road, and here, this is going to be difficult, because here we have Lake Baikal, and we're going to have to somehow, basically, get across. And what we're going to do is we're going to start going north. This is going to be the part where what you prepared for. You are need to be going through forest and mountains. Crossing this mountain range is going to be extremely difficult, but there are a few villages here along the way. So you can go through here like this, and you basically want to go to the, this is actually so difficult. And you should definitely find your way to Yakutsk. And it's going to be so cold here, by the way. And once you get to Yakutsk, you want to take a break there. It's actually, you can, like, well, first of all, you can't get to Yakutsk because there's no way to Yakutsk without crossing water. So what you should do, you should probably keep going, and now you go through this mountain range. I would actually go on this dirt road because it's at least somewhat right here civilized. So now you go across, and even more across to the hardest part. And here we have a little actually tundra, which is a bit better for you because it's not as cold. Here you get to this point. This is the crucial point. This is the part where my video should have the highest average click-through rate. It's the most exciting part. Earlier than this, I was kind of just yapping about how you get here. So now you get here, and you might be like, wait a minute, what? This is ocean, and if you don't believe me, this is ocean. Buddy, this is ocean. It's a body of liquid. It's Bering Strait. You can search it up. But here's even proof. We have these little Diomede Islands here. Here they are, and we can see that is the ocean right there. So we're gonna be, once you get to this point, Naukan, and you get here, and now you have to walk across the ocean. Now here's what you do. This is gonna be insane, but you have to do it. What you have to do is you have to wait until winter. And fun fact, this is the Bering Strait. The Bering Strait freezes in the winter, so you can walk across it. And I'm not even kidding. If you don't believe me, did people walk across the Bering Strait? Yes, they did. In 26, they spent 14 days of shifting ice floes and freezing water. Ice. Now, it's very cold here, so you want to prepare, but it is possible. We just saw. So, you want to go here, and you walk across the Bering Strait. Here you should definitely stop at Diomede Islands. So fun fact, Little Diomede Island, Big Diomede Island. What do we know about them? So Big Diomede Island actually belongs to Russia. A Little Diomede Island right here, it belongs to the USA. And it even has a little city right here. So that's interesting. Anyway, so once you get to these islands, you'll be able to cross the ice and cross basically into Alaska. Here you have a community called Wales in Tin City here, and you can have you have to walk across here, across through only some, or you can walk here, you can walk through the forest a bit, where you are in Alaska right now. And here's how this is still a very hard part. Here we're gonna be going through and getting to this Yukon River, which is gonna have, you guessed it, cities. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go like this along the river, and the Yukon actually goes up there, but we're gonna go here down this river, stop in Fairbanks, and go along this highway, Highway 1, for like a long time. Not there. Now we keep going here. You can either go across the highway, or you can go through the wilderness, just like this, down, and eventually, if you keep going southeast, you'll eventually make it to cities like Edmonton, and even more down to cities like Calgary here. So, and then you cross in to the United States in whatever way, and this is probably going to be the easiest part of this whole thing. Now that you're in the United States, you have so many cities everywhere, so many highways, so many different, basically, ways where you can, be. So you go through all of these cities, zoom out. Montana, Idaho, Utah, Arizona. Now, this is the fastest way, but probably not the safest way, because Arizona, mind you, is hot. And by hot, I mean very hot. So, one of the hottest U.S. states, if not the hottest. So, you could actually take here, once you have to get through North Arizona, and then you can go through this little national forest, and down here into Mexico, and here you'll have a few options. You can either go through, now that you're in Mexico, through this forest, or don't go through Sinaloa. I'm pretty sure there's a cartel there. If you don't know what that is, then just search it up. Or if you don't want to know, then you don't know. Just don't know. So, or you can go through here on this highway, but it's harder because of the desert and the mountains. So now you go down here, and you go through these, once you go through Mexico, you get to Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, which will be a bit difficult, and you should definitely not cross through here. You should cross through here, otherwise it's fine. And then get San Jose, Panama, which will be the last Central American country. You get through here, on Highway 1, and then you need, wait, what? What is this? Second point of the highest click-through rate of my video. Okay. Here, this is gonna be very difficult too. We are officially at Yavisa, the only road that leads this far, Highway 1. Not the same Highway 1 from like a long time ago though, not from Canada. But here you get to here, and we have this thing called the Darien Gap right here. And the Darien Gap here is, it's more than 100 miles of wilderness and nothing. There's robbers here, there's wild animals, it's basically very dangerous. Forest, it's very dangerous. Rivers. So, if I were you, I would not go here. It's a national park, but it only has 303 reviews, because not very many people have been there. By the way, all of these, they're not really cities. They're just, I don't know, they're historical landmarks or whatever Google calls them. So if you manage to go through here, which is forest, but it'll still be very hard, you get to South America all of a sudden. You're in South America, the place where you needed to be. Now here you can do a few things. You're in Colombia right now. You can either go through the Amazon rainforest or you can go across Peru. And I would want you to go across like this. Now mind you, I would not want you to go straight from the start across the ocean, because here it gets a little deserty and that's not what we want, and mountainy. Now we should go somewhere across here, because this is where the forest is. So once you get here, you can get to some cities like La Paz, and here you just go basically across half and half. Like this, and now all of a sudden you're in Argentina, and here you can actually switch. There's some fields here, go down, and there are, by the way, highways that go across here. Now you don't want to go too close to the Andes Mountains, because first of all it's mountains, and second of all it's very cold there. And as you can see, all of that, by the way, is snow, and all the mountains are snow. So you want to keep going down here, and here. We're going to get to this point. We are almost there. We cross right here in this Rio Turbio, through here, down, through, through Punta Arenas, Tres Puentes. Let's let it load here. Punta Arenas, Lendaura, Puerto del Hambre, Fuerteventuras, Bahia Carrera, Puerto del Hambre, San Juan, and you finally get to the point, Punta Arbol. You finally get to the point where you originally needed to be. Finally get to the point where you were one day in South Africa. You were right here. Sorry, you were not right there. What is happening to my screen? You were right there, and now you're there. And you walked. It's as if you walked across the ocean, and let's first of all say that you did. But you walked across more than just the ocean. You walked across the desert, the rainforest, the tundra, the mountains. You walked across basically everything that there is. And you basically explored the whole world, and you got to your destination. Thank you everyone so much for watching. This is such a cool video to make. I've seen this topic on YouTube. And by the way, let's go back here. And first I have to explain something. While people did make it across, and it is possible to do it, it is actually very dangerous and might even be illegal to do it. So I think you have to get like a lot of permission. But there's like, first of all, it's very cold here. There are shifting ice caps, which might be very difficult. So practically, it's not possible, but theoretically it is, and people have done it before. But you need so much, insanely much gear. You need so much knowledge about the ice and the sea and where you are, and you need so much knowledge basically. So yeah, so you know how to get across here, and that's basically how you get across. That's the main point of where this turns from something where it's not, it's just one like that, and like that, and you all of a sudden you get there, even though you could have gotten there like I don't know, you couldn't have gotten there in any other way. Just saying. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.